Elon Musk sometimes has really weird ideas. One of these weird ideas is undoubtedly the plan to nuke Mars, which would hypothetically change a Martian environment and finally make Mars a more Earth-like planet. For the first time, Elon revealed his idea in 2015 during an interview with Stephen Colbert. Considering the fact that recently he was spotted wearing a t-shirt with the slogan Nuke Mars, we can assume that he hasn't changed his mind at all. Well, if it's not just his next joke, you gotta know one thing. Nuking Mars is a terrible idea. Why? More about this in today's video. As you may have heard, nuking Mars would hypothetically help in terraforming the red planet. For those who don't know, terraforming is the hypothetical process of modifying the atmosphere, temperature, surface topography, or ecology of a planet to be similar to the environment of Earth to make it habitable by Earth-like life. Why does Elon want to artificially change the Mars atmosphere? As we know, the great dream of Elon Musk is to start the colonization of Mars and make humankind an interplanetary species. Changing the Martian environment would significantly facilitate the entire process of Mars colonization. Currently, the climate on the Martian surface is one of the biggest problems when we talk about colonizing Mars. The whole surface of Mars is basically a big radioactive desert with toxic soil and a very thin atmosphere. More precisely, Mars' atmosphere is 100 times less dense than this on Earth and is composed of 90% CO2, which obviously makes it unbreathable. The Martian surface temperature varies from lows of about -143 degrees Celsius at the winter polar caps to highs of up to 35 degrees Celsius in equatorial summer. As you heard, these are not the best habitable conditions, but hypothetically, thanks to the terraformation, these conditions will change significantly. To start the terraformation process of Mars, Elon plans to take advantage of the dry ice, which is located at the Martian poles. Dry ice is the solid form of carbon dioxide, so if we heat it up to an accurate temperature, it turns into a carbon dioxide gas. According to Elon's assumptions, melting whole dry ice located at the Martian poles will increase the concentration of carbon dioxide in Mars's atmosphere to the level which enables to increase the greenhouse effects. The greenhouse effect is a process when the sun's energy reaches the planet's atmosphere. Some of it is reflected back to space, and the rest is absorbed and radiated by greenhouse gases, such as carbon dioxide. Once we know all this important information, let's move on to the practical part of Elon's plan. In the beginning, the nukes will be sent towards Mars's poles. Once the nuclear bomb is exactly above the Martian pole, it'll be detonated. The heat from the nuclear blast is supposed to melt the dry ice and release carbon dioxide into the Martian atmosphere. Thanks to this, the greenhouse effect will increase, which will increase the temperature on Mars. Of course, one nuclear explosion is not enough to heat up all the ice located at the Martian pole. According to scientists' calculations, it would take between 10,000 to 15,000 nukes, and it's required that these nukes will be exploding one after another to create something like an artificial sun above the surface of Mars. That entire plan sounds pretty promising, so what's the problem? Well, the biggest problem with this plan is that it won't work in practice. First of all, the amount of carbon dioxide trapped in Martian polar ice caps will not be enough to increase the greenhouse effect. A study published in the scientific journal Nature Astronomy found that even if we nuke both Martian poles, it would only increase the Martian atmosphere to 7% of what Earth has. Unfortunately, that 7% of Earth's atmosphere won't be enough to heat the planet. Aside from the fact that Elon Musk's idea to nuke Mars doesn't work in practice, it will also cause other negative effects. First of all, if there will be any mistake in detonating an atomic bomb, it would cause enormous damage. A nuclear bomb, which, for example, will fall on Mars, would destroy part of the surface of the planet as well as cause huge radioactive contamination. There's already 50 times more radiation on the surface of Mars than on Earth, and any additional radioactive contamination will make future colonization of the planet even more difficult. If that wasn't enough, it's also very likely that instead of warming Mars, nukes will cause a nuclear winter. The nuclear winter would happen from the dust and particles in the atmosphere caused by nuclear explosions. These particles would almost entirely block out the sunlight and in consequence cool down Mars even more, which is the exact opposite of what Elon Musk intends. Furthermore, even if we manage to somehow produce additional amounts of CO2 on Mars and create the same atmosphere as we have on Earth, it'll also be worthless. Why? Well, NASA's MAVEN mission has revealed that Mars is losing its atmosphere even today. The planet's lack of a protective magnetic field means the solar wind will continue stripping its atmosphere and in consequence reverting our changes to Mars or constantly degrading them. To truly terraform Mars, we would need to fix its lack of magnetic field, which isn't possible with current technology. As you can see, at this point, Elon Musk's idea to nuke Mars is a waste of money, and it would also cause other negative effects. Honestly, it's kind of weird that someone like Elon Musk proposes ideas like this. Nevertheless, if you want to hear about Elon's better ideas, check out this video in which I answer the questions why the new SpaceX rocket Starship is a real revolution in space exploration. And of course, if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to leave a thumbs up.